What the fudge was that? Production error. Welcome to Unscripted, where the story behind the journey matters most, where we don't just talk about industries, headlines, or hype. We humanize the people behind them. I'm your host, Leslie Mota, and this show is sponsored by WAGME. Tonight's guest has lived many lives in one lifetime. He has stood on athletic fields and wrestling mats. He has walked the halls of government and community organizations. He has traveled the world, advocated for people who felt unseen, and spent years helping others find the courage to stand fully in who they are. His story is not simply about sports, politics, activism, or media. It's about identity. It's about carrying pieces of yourself that the world tells you don't belong together and having the courage to prove that they do. As a man, an athlete, an advocate, a leader, and someone who spent years navigating the tension between who he was expected to be and who he truly was, his journey is one of resilience, self discovery, and ultimately freedom. Today, many know him as a podcaster, author, world traveler, and the voice behind conversations that challenge people to think deeper. But long before the microphone, before the titles, and before the audience, there was a young man trying to figure it out where he belonged. Tonight, we're going beyond the headlines, beyond the accomplishments, and beyond the public persona to explore the experiences that shape the man sitting here today. So please help me welcome the host of the Keep It Moving podcast, Big Unk himself, Akil Patterson. Big Unk.
Thank you.
And
Thank
the
you very
crowd
much for
goes
having me.
wild.
I know. Yeah, I don't know, but thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I know you are a busy, busy man. You're a
I
world
can be.
traveler. You
Mm.
can be. But we're going to get to that because you and I
I am
talked.
so sorry, sister. I have this. So I went to the
What do you
store
have
and
in your mouth, Akil?
I
Oh,
thought these were mints, but they're little sour things, and so now my mouth is all puckered up. I am so sorry.
what are those gummies? What is it?
No, they're just these like sour mints, and so like my mouth is all doing this like square thing. It's not on purpose. It's my mouth
Y-
got struck.
Oh
Oh
my
my goodness.
goodness. So you
Mm.
put them right in your mouth right before we got started or right when we're getting started. Like if we're going to talk face to face.
I thought this was I thought it was a mint. I thought it was like a breath mint when I
Yeah.
bought them, and now I'm noticing that they're not. So
Leave it to Akil. Didn't you say this is going to be Akil Unscripted, the whole show?
this is this is definitely full on unscripted. And so like, one of the first things, Leslie, is that I never knew I had dyslexia or ADHD growing up.
What do you mean you didn't know? Like,
I didn't. So back in the 80s, there was this thing that it was something called tracking, right?
yeah.
And it was when they would see a black kid and they'd be like, he's too loud or he's too fast or he's too much. So they would put you in like the remedial class, right? And so this was a real thing. It happened throughout the 1980s. And so instead of doing that, my parents were like, we just won't, like, we're not going to get them tested. We're just going to muscle through it. So my whole life, I've learned to ignore a lot of people and just keep it moving with what I do in life. Like I don't pay folks attention because I'm like, whatever. Turns out, man, I was dyslexic and ADHD, and yeah, so makes sense now.
Wait, no. Now, did you self-diagnose yourself or you
No,
got
no, no. I got
diagnosed?
diagnosed. So I got diagnosed when I was 23. So it was like maybe it was 22, because it was like my senior year of college. And I had, like, again, I made it through school, but one of my teachers just said, like, there's just something not right. And luckily for me, I was able to get the diagnosis. And then after that, I said, okay, what's the benefit? And they were like, well, you made it this far, so good job.
Good
But
job.
it does make for awkward social interactions with people sometimes. So when people say, "Oh man, he's a lot," it's like, well, I really can't tell if I'm a lot or a little.
But what made you wanna go get self-diagnosed at that age? Like, what prompted that?
It was my teacher. It was a teacher saying, "Hey, you might wanna get checked out," and then, in getting tested, it was just like, "Oh, well, it makes sense now." So, like, the kid that, like, some parents are like, "Man, we don't want that dude over here because he's like he'll be all
Yeah,
over the house." Don't act
yeah.
like you don't know, Leslie, you got kids. So, like, that one kid where you're like, "Man, I don't want
Uh,
that little mofo up in my house."
too
So that was
much?
something. Yeah, that's what happened. So I was one of the kids that was a little bit too much for a lot of people. And so, growing up, my parents kind of like sheltered me from it, but also like I think I wet the bed till I was like 10 or 11. So I'm
I don't
serious.
need
It's
to
like
laugh.
I didn't get to spend a night over at people's houses. The older I get, the less of a filter I have on this face. So
No, but this is a good conversation because people don't talk about the things that they went through or why, and then it's like when you're an adult and you look back, you start understanding why certain things happen when you were a child.
yeah, yeah. Isn't that part? That's part of growth too, I think, is a lot of us um we fail to recognize what's at the root of what we're angry about. Like, I see people, for years I would see people arguing in the halls of Congress or, in state legislators, and you'd hear these people like they're fighting over something that really doesn't concern them. They're like, it it
Yeah.
it affects my constituents. They come back with that tone. But then when you get down to the root of it, it was something that personally affected them and they just didn't know how to tell anybody, or they want to write it in a memoir to make money off of. But if we are more open and transparent as a society, which I've learned from my travels, is that you start being more communicative with nature, with the nature and the community you're with. You can actually have a conversation with people and not harm anyone, right? I mean, one of my good friends in the media world, we don't agree on anything
Yeah.
politically half the time, but doesn't mean I hate him as a person.
Right.
And other people, they really latch on. There's a clip I put out today, and it's like basketball isn't a personality, it's a sport, right?
Yeah.
And that's just me saying that, but the truth is that nothing is your personality. If you make one thing your entire personality of who you are a fool and an idiot.
But why do you think people adapt to certain things and, don't have their own personality? Do you think that's because society has programmed us to be followers instead of being leaders and, standing in your own person and your own human being of who you are?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a great book that I was read. So, I was in Santiago de Compostela. I was in
Yeah.
Spain, and I actually cut my head on the tomb of Saint James, but that's another story. But I was there, and I was reading a book by Brother Lawrence, and it's Practice in the Presence of God, right?
Mhm.
And in this thing, it talks about being devoted to something that you are able to be present all the time because that's the goal. The goal is to be present. And I think what our society does is tries to not make us present. It tries to not make us present. It says, hey, you should be divided. You need to be in this cluster. You need
Mhm.
to only interact with this community. But that separates us more because then it becomes the wet rock theory. And if you've ever heard about the wet rock theory, is go outside, hang a rock from the like a bird feeder, hang it from your house, and then if it's wet, then it's raining everywhere. If it's dry, then it's not raining everywhere. That sounds stupid, doesn't it?
It sounds very interesting, and does it work?
No. So Leslie, the point is that is what people see their community as. It's this very small
Mhm.
like neighborhood. If I hang a rock outside my door and it's not raining where I am living, but it's raining in Tallahassee, Florida, it doesn't mean that it's not raining. It just means that it's different somewhere else. And that's where our world has to start to understand is that our society gets told a lie because we all live in this one little bubble. But once you like outside that bubble, you start to see that, oh, they do it like that, or they do it like this, or oh, they drink their beer like that, or they smoke their weed like this. You start to notice the differences. I mean, I spent almost 4 months abroad recently, 4.5 months abroad, and I didn't know they didn't smoke blunts.
What do they
Who knew?
smoke?
They do spliffs. We call them spliffs here, but it's part cigarette, part cannabis.
Yeah.
But and then they put it in just some regular rolling papers like a cigarette.
Very interesting. I mean, you don't think too is that society, if you decide to go against the grain, it's like you're judged. Even in school, there's bullies and things like that, but isn't it also part of our culture and how we grew up to either think for yourself, question whether things are true or not, or we've been programmed for so long to think the same way as the rest of the population?
Yeah, that goes back to the cluster. Is that we some people might call them cults,
Yeah.
but there's a cluster. If you're in a cluster or cult of people, you start to take on the personality. Honestly, I mean, not to be gross or anything, but you ever have they say when too many women live together,
Yeah.
the time of the
Ooh,
month seems to get more, closer
yes.
to each
To
other.
each,
And
yes.
yeah. And so like that's like one reason, like the one way they're like God's like guaranteed that like more than like 8 women should never live in the house. That's the reason. The reason why more than 8 guys shouldn't live in the house, because then 8 women would have to come and clean it. Bad joke.
I was gonna say because of your guys'
No, because we're
testosterone or
dirty.
what the
Because we're
fudge.
dirty. We're dirty. We're dirty. We're dirty. We're dirty.
I mean, not all
Um,
men are dirty. There's some clean men, aren't they? Or it's just
no, like there are no. Let me say this: men will clean theirs, like if it's their home, their yard, their house. Men will not clean up after another man, and so if a bunch of men are there
unless
and
it's
say
your
like there's a
partner.
like, huh? Like, well, no, I'm just saying, like, this is why college young men's, you ever go to a college guy's house?
Oh
They're
my
normally
God.
nasty. Yeah, exactly. And this is the reason, is because they'll clean up their own, but if they see someone else's, they're not going to touch it. And if that one person never touches their stuff, then the house gets really dirty really fast.
That is so freaking true. It's crazy. But, I want to take it way
Okay,
back,
yeah, let's take it way back. I'm sorry. That's how it goes sometimes. I just start going.
This is why I told you it's going to be unscripted. It's like we're probably going to jump from one topic to another to multiple. It's going to be seriously unscripted. But before we go deeper into everything that we talked about earlier as well, because I do want to talk on some of those topics when we were talking earlier, because
Yeah.
one of them you said something that I did not know. And I was like, wait, it made me think and it kind of blew my mind. And I was like, well, damn, I guess I can go into politics because of that scenario that you told me, but we'll touch on that later. But, it's like your audience or a lot of us know you as Big Unk,
Yeah.
and a lot of us know you for your opinions and the conversations that you have, and you don't hold back, Akil. It's like you are very firm and you are very opinionated. And when you stand on something, you stand on something that you believe.
I
And
stand
then,
on business.
yes, you do. And you have shared a lot of wisdom. People that have not had conversations with you, they don't understand that you are a ball full of knowledge. But when you look back at the younger Akil, at the younger version of yourself, the one that was carrying dreams, expectations, whatever it was, any fears or secrets, what do you think you needed the most that you weren't getting at that time?
Ketamine. I'm sorry, a hug.
Wait, what? Isn't that the stuff that they give to horses?
We'll we'll talk about that. Actually, there is a ketamine
Akil.
therapy, and I have no. I'll be very honest. So there's a ketamine therapy, and I have gone through it. It's with a licensed practicing psychiatrist and a psychologist, and along with a therapist. And it is, if you are ever suffering from an extreme depression, I would say consult with your physician on
Okay.
something like that. It was the best thing ever. No, I think the thing that I probably needed when I was younger, if we're is that I would have loved to have been able to have the diagnosis
Yeah.
when I was younger. That's where they say that the issue starts is that childhood. So if you ever learn about early adolescent education, it starts around that pre-K, that 5 to 6 year old range when you're getting into school. If you are having difficulties and you fall behind in pre-K or kindergarten, the world doesn't stop for you. Everyone just keeps going.
Yeah.
And so you're always playing catch up. So when the kids, I tell this with the first full book I ever read was the Boxcar Children. It was a full book box. You remember the box series of books?
Yes.
Yeah, you like the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, all that stuff. The first one of those series I was able to completely read through was the Boxcar Children, and that wasn't until fifth grade. I could only do short stories. I wasn't able to read entire books. So in fifth grade, they're like, there's something wrong. He's not that smart. And I remember my teacher telling my mother that I was effectively stupid. And my mother said, "To hell with that." We went home, and every night, even to the point of tears and just, you know, chest pains and
Yeah.
agony, I was going to sit there at that table and I was going to learn how to read. Not knowing it was dyslexia, not knowing that there was something stopping me. It's like, was it Percy S. Jackson in Olympians, right? He's like, everyone thinks he was stupid. No, you're not stupid. You're just not unread. And when you're unread and unmanaged, and you've got this neurological thing that you can't see, people start treating you as less than. And so you build up a lot of anger and a lot of rage. So if I can go back to my younger self, I would tell my younger self, you were going to have a choice. You can choose to go get the diagnosis, but if you do that, you may end up as a plumber. And there's nothing wrong with plumbers, and let me say that. But if you end up as a plumber, you'll never travel to Paris, you'll never travel to Prague, you'll never sit in the Lou, you will never go to 49 of the 50 states here in the United States of America, you will never sit on the banks of the Chandeliers and drink wine with some random homeless guy. You'll never get those experiences if you go down this other road. So I would tell my younger self, those are the choices you're going to face. Now he's only going to be 5 or 6, so he won't know what the hell I'm talking about. But
Mm.
but he'll at least know that there's a future out there for him. And I think I would also like to end discrimination that would force a young person to have to make those sort of choices, even the families.
Yeah.
I think it's unfair to my mom and my dad. They've got to make a choice. Let your kid get labeled special. You know, because there were no IEPs. This is like 89.
Akil, okay, so you didn't get diagnosed, and that was a huge problem or obstacle.
Yeah,
I don't want to say it was a problem. It was an obstacle, but you actually pushed through it. Like, how did you get through it? How did you overcome it? And looking back, don't you think that was kind of a blessing in disguise because it prompted you to be the man that you are now? Because you've
absolutely,
gone through a
absolutely.
lot.
Yeah. So, we were a young family. My parents had us when they were my parents had not graduated college. My mom actually had to drop out of school to raise children.
Mhm.
Um, my dad, I remember him building our first house in New York. This is upstate New York. He built our first house. So, the sacrifices they made for us, that's the most important thing that I look at. And, that's one reason why I carry the mantra of a big unk, is
Yeah.
because that everybody needs this relationship with somebody.
Mhm.
And some people don't have parents, but that's, to me, that's the biggest blessing, is having two adults in my life that if anything went wrong, pick up the phone. They're not going to, let me say this, they don't pay for my bullshit, but they definitely will listen to it.
I don't think, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think any parent pays for bullshit. I know I'm not one of those parents.
Yeah, I always tell my nephews and nieces, I say, look, you can call me one time to come bail you out. But the second time, I'm just going to be like, yo, that's crazy.
Figure it out, kid. That's
That's
love. That's
crazy.
tough love.
Like,
You're always going to love them, but they have to learn.
yeah. You can bail somebody out once, but at some point you do have to cut it off. And that's a reality of life, right? I've even learned that. At a certain point, you've got to cut off your relationships with people that are toxic, you know? And so you're teaching them the
Yeah.
lesson. And these are expensive lessons, but they're lessons nonetheless that need to be learned.
But some people are addicted to the toxicity, or they have, what is that called? That trauma bonding,
Oh
for
yeah.
because of whatever happened in their youth or their
Hmm.
childhood, parent, whatever it may be, and they find that within another relationship subconsciously sometimes, and then all of a sudden you become trauma bonded because of the things that you went through and their similarities. How do you even break free from that or break through? It's like some like toxic.
Yeah, I mean, toxic's a thing. Like, who wants to be in a toxic relationship?
I can't do toxic, I did toxic for a long time and I can't.
Now, see, now, Leslie, this month is on top of it being a Pride Month. I think it's also Men's Mental Health Month, and so all men, no matter how you identify, bad men, mentally unwell men, will lead to more detrimental harm in our society than anything else. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Mentally ill men will stab a woman on a train or a bus. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter a race, mentally ill. A mentally ill man will scream out on a train platform, scaring passengers. A mentally ill man can be a victim of domestic abuse and cause domestic abuse. Mentally ill men that do not get help or seek help are the biggest danger to not only themselves, but our greater society. And so I believe that if we're going to, do anything right now, we've got to highlight that part of this work and this in the conversations that we have all the time, because bad men lead to worse outcomes for young women, and we really need to nip it in the bud.
In your opinion, Akil, when we're talking about mental health, and I guess in society, and there's this stigma about men not being able to communicate or open about it or be open about it for whatever reason. And I think we have been programmed as a society to maybe look down on men for speaking about what they're going through. But what do you think plays a role in men's mental illness? Is it their upbringing, their surrounding, what they've been around? Help me
Usefulness.
understand. What do you mean by
Well, so
usefulness?
no, it really comes down to usefulness. If you ask most men when they are home with their significant other, when they're with their kids, when they are, running around doing things, they like the feeling of feeling useful, because the verbal words tend not to be there. Not the, oh baby, you're so great and you're the most amazing person I've ever. Yeah, those things don't get said to them. What they do here is, do you like your burger? Do you like your steak? Oh man, the food's fire, dad. You know what I mean? Men hear those things, and so their usefulness is the reward. Rather, it's they're doing a good job at work or they're doing a good job at home. It's the usefulness. The problem becomes is the performance on top of it they have to maintain. Men perform at a higher level. I think the total number right now between the United States, the EU, and Canada is 780,000 men will unalive themselves. 780,000. And I think if you look at that and you go, there is an epidemic happening every year because 780,000 people like that. And not to mention, like I said, women will experience trauma from those men. So all 750,000 have left a traumatized woman behind. Somebody, a mother, a wife, a girlfriend, and it could have been they assaulted them, they unalived them themselves, they were in a bad domestic abuse relationship. There are so many things that come along with it. So if we start looking at solving that issue, and solving it is by men being able to openly talk about what's going on, but at the same time holding themselves accountable. I think that's where a lot of people are missing the connection is that most men are not held accountable for what they do. Like, you don't
I
have to
don't
go to
think,
prison, but you have to admit that what you did.
yeah, but you don't think too it's part of their upbringing and, when they're children, parents should be accountable of that. It's like I raised a son, right? And
Mhm.
I don't want to talk about his story because it's his story to tell, but in my opinion, looking back, I think that mental health also is part of a combination of things that are influenced by a combination of things, emotional, psychological thing. I think too, one of the things that, looking back, I can say is because I was raising, my son. And I think sometimes a lot of it had to do like with emotional expression, where it's like, I was teaching him to be tough, and suppress emotions, or if you're not tough enough, and, just other stressors, pressure, it's like to be the best version of yourself. And I think that how I raised my kids was a product of my upbringing, of how I was raised. And I didn't want them
Mhm.
to go through a certain path, or a certain route. And I think, looking back, I added a lot of pressure for them to be XYZ, to have the good grades, to go to a magnet school, to be the best that they could be in life, and not giving them space or room to grow into the man or they needed to. I think a lot of the times we as parents don't take accountability, or the lack of love thereof, where, it's like parents are cold, or parents are unemotional, or you're not showing, that it's okay to show feelings or emotions. And sometimes, Akil, we can fudge up our kids, mentally and emotionally. And don't you think those are some factors that also partake in men's mental illness?
Um, you're I mean, somebody might get mad at me, but I'm gonna say 9. And Here's why. Everything you said was something that you imposed, right? It was something that you said or you
Mhm.
did, but you didn't tell them the reason why, did you?
Yes. So I was very open, with both of my kids. They knew that I had a rough upbringing, and there was even one
Mhm.
time where my daughter told me straight up. She was like, you impose X, Y, and Z on me. She's like, and I don't understand it sometimes because I didn't grow up like you. I wasn't raised like you, and I didn't go through with what you go through. So
Mhm.
your looks different than mine. So when you're telling me to toughen up because X, Y, and Z, and you went through this, she's like, we didn't have the same upbringing, so related to. So our visions of certain things are different. So
Well, but your
as they
daughter said
got
that to you,
older,
right?
yeah, my son a bit more quiet and served. And
Yeah.
we have a great relationship where it's like we can talk about everything and anything and what he's feeling, and he's forthcoming. But
Now,
when he was
but when he
younger,
was younger, it was tough, right?
he still it was tough, but we still have an open lines of communication. And when he wanted to talk about certain things or what he was going through, he always came and sat next to me and talked about
Mhm.
it. But for the
So
most
I'll
part,
I'll
he
say
was a
this.
quiet kid.
Yeah, and what I will say is that it took, instead of being able to talk about things throughout the course of a day. Say you've got a big project due, and it's due at the end of the day. You and I are partners, and we talk throughout the day to get the finishing touches on the project, right? We communicated throughout the process to get it done. But what if we didn't communicate all day and we showed up to class and we had to get it done like right then and there? There's a lot more pressure, right? That's generally the
Yes.
point where men find themselves out, is at the very end, not along the way that they had the opportunity. So I like to say, if you tell kids something early on in life, they're sponges. They're like, okay, that's it. Kids will generally be, oh, all right, because you are the one they're learning from. But when we carry our trauma from one person to the next, I mean, no offense to the great mothers of the world, but there is what they call mother to child trauma transmission. It is a real thing biologically, like it's
I
in our
believe that.
DNA. So when
Yeah.
mom got abused, or like we feel it, and the boys carry it differently because they're not allowed throughout the course of their life to show the emotions. So at 5 years old, when something hurts them, dads are like, suck it up. Moms are like, suck it up. So that's strike one. So instead of being talked to about, hey, look, you can cry, but you got to get up. I
Yeah.
prefer that tone, right? I liked when my mom says, you can cry all you want, but you're going to go out there and fight that kid. Because my mother did make me go out there and fight another kid. She's like, cry all you want, but you're going to go out there and do it. And, the whole time I'm swinging, I'm crying. I hate this kid. But I went out there and did it. I give my mom credit for that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of kids whose parents will never like, you don't cry, don't suck it up, hold it in. And so the boy learns at 5 or 6 not to disclose or not to be vulnerable. Instead of saying, be vulnerable, but you can still be tough. You can cry and still beat the living crap out of somebody. I said it today. I knew a guy, he used to cry every time he was hitting somebody in the face with a brick. I don't know why he cried. He cried every time he fought, but that was him.
Wait. You
Shoot,
had
I
a
used to get
friend that
through
hit
what?
other people with a brick?
Oh yeah, I got crazy. I mean, that's real life. Sadly,
Wait.
sadly, it led to his death, though. It led to his death.
Oh.
Yeah, we were like 18
Well,
when he passed.
I'm sorry to hear that about your friend.
Oh, that's all
But
right. Well, I
Akil,
mean, it's not all right that he's dead, that he passed away so many years ago. I mean, that was over 20 years at this point. But yeah, but that's the kind of stuff that you know. I think like I said, that ketamine therapy, that psilocybin therapy that I took, I think it helped me get to the point where I could start talking about those situations and not like be scared about it, like not be like, oh my God, what are people going to think about me? I don't care what you think about me. I didn't care before. I care even less now.
so at what point did you start doing those therapies?
About 5 years ago. 5 years ago.
And how has that
5, 6, yeah.
changed the quality of your life now?
Oh, I can sit in the sun all day.
Wait, what do you mean the sun? You couldn't sit in the sun before?
No, I mean, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to prove myself to anybody. I don't have to, put myself in a shadow. I don't have to hide from the world.
So
A
you're
lot of
saying
us
you've
do that.
become
We
more of a
hide
chill
from the world.
person.
Yeah. I'm what do they say? I'm on that California time, baby. I'm just
chilling and coasting through and relaxing and,
I'm just
just
chilling.
living life. And,
Yeah.
so is that where you decided to now be like, you know what? I'm becoming a bum. I saw your
Yeah,
Instagram reel too,
I'm
where it's
bummed.
like you sat down and you talked about it. Tell us about what do you mean you're bum?
I'm becoming a bum. I am going to, I decided last year that I was going to put a majority of my assets into a trust,
Mhm.
and I rented out places that I have and own, and I've oops, oh my God,
What the fudge did you drop?
my phone. It doesn't have a case on it.
Oh, kill.
It went face down too.
Pick it up. Probably nothing happened unless you have like one of those freaking really big brick floors. Oh, you are over there, East Coast. So maybe.
All right, it's good.
Get a
It's good.
case for your phone.
I know I should have the first day I got it, but oh well. But where was I?
Get a
Yeah,
freaking case.
yeah. It was 5 years. It was great. I think my personality has been for the better. I think that I enjoyed life a lot more. I went to this restaurant in Rome a couple months back, and while I'm sitting there, I ordered this bottle of wine, and the guy, the maitre d' who was running the place, he comes over. He used to play football in America. He's Italian, so he starts talking about football and blah blah blah. It's a really nice restaurant, and he offers this bottle. Turns out I'm sitting there, and I start drinking the bottle. I'm there by myself, so I'm just having a bottle of wine. And the guy sitting next to me, he goes, "Very good year," and he's Italian. And I go, "Cool." He goes, "My family owns the vineyard. You should come." I looked at him. I said, "Are you kidding me?" So this is like a 200-euro bottle of wine. And he's like, "My family owns the vineyard." Next day, I'm at this dude's vineyard hanging out. I just, yeah, sure.
What?
Just chill. I was like, I got no plans.
Oh my goodness gracious. Akil, so
It's the young
you
side.
started a new podcast. Look, see, now I'm truly going unscripted everywhere because we started in one place and then it's like we're going fast forward. But you started a new podcast.
Yeah.
Before it was the Sunday Fun Day, and when I was
Yep.
clipping for the intro, I remember some of them. I remember even you did 2 years ago called "The Man" or "What is the Meaning to Be a Man." I can't remember or recall,
What
and
it means to be a man. Yeah.
"What It Means to Be a Man." I remember that one. Um,
Yeah.
but now you have a new podcast. Keep it moving. What happened to
Yeah. I got
Sunday
to keep
Funday,
moving.
and what prompted the new? You sound like
One of my young heads is giving me a call back. One of the kids that graduated recently, Graham, I'm gonna give you a call here in a second. But I was so the SFD, the Sunday Fun Day, I had originally done it with my buddies, and one of them started his another podcast on YouTube. Check it out. It's called Long Lost Rides, I think is the name of it, or Lost Rides. And basically, his name's Mark Togney. He played the bad guy on maybe season one of America's Top Chef. Um, but he's doing this YouTube, and he went off and did that one. My other buddy ended up getting a great job with Intel, so he went off. Another one, he ended up he's got the wifey. So slowly we just kind of everyone went their own different ways, and it was just finally me, and I was gonna do it by myself. But then obviously there were some things that happened with um the industry I was in, and I kind
mhm.
of basically blew the whistle on a government entity, and they came after me, and so Big Unk had to put his brain to work and you know make them pay the only way I know how to. And then after that, I was just like, I didn't want to do it for a while. It was just like I needed to like go away, and I pretty much bought some assets, invested some money, and then went over to Europe. And then
And
when
what
I
is the
came
Keep It
back,
Moving?
so
Sorry, go
Keep It
ahead.
Moving actually, no worries. No, you're good. So Keep It Moving came to me while I was traveling. There was two times I've been traveling, so I travel quite often. And it was in about 2025. I took a trip over to Germany, and I'm sitting in a stadium with 80,000 people, never feeling as alone in that moment. And I hear this voice, and it says, "Keep moving." And I think about that concept. What does it mean to keep moving? And I think about my life in general. It's been one career, one event, one thing after another. I've gone from being in rooms with, Al Sharpton and Ben Jealous and Joe Biden, um, eating dinner with peasants, hanging out with kings. As Kid Rock says, I slept in dumpsters and got high with kings. That's the Kid Rock voice. He says that. And when Kid Rock, I'm not a big Kid Rock fan, but that verse right there is kind of like the epitome of my life. It's been all over the place. So what's wrong with doing another thing and to keep
Yeah.
moving? And so the mindset of keep moving is to get past where we're at. I want to motivate young people because young people right now have a choice. They have a choice on who they're following. You can go follow Clavicular, right? Who, by the way, I'm going to pray for that young man because he's got the same thing wrong with him that they would say transgender people have, and that is body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia, where you don't like the way you look. And so you spend all your time and your money trying to cut your face, clip here, cut there. Next thing you know, you don't look as beautiful as you thought you once did. So but that's what's going on. I want young people to have that opportunity to find a different type of role model, someone that's going to talk to them about life and not just about like you got to grind and you got to get paid. It's like, no, you need to set your goals first. Don't get paid without knowing what you're getting paid for. You know what I mean? Set goals so we
Yeah.
have a vision instead of my vision is to be richer than the next guy. Then what? Because everyone can't do that. It's make this is how you used to do it. And I just told this. I want to be like the dude from Belly who got out. In Belly, everybody dies except one dude.
Yeah.
So who do you want to be? Be the one who gets out. Be the one who goes, all right, I'm good. Got what I need. I own a couple of properties for passive income. I got some Bitcoin squirreled away. I'm good. Let's go. Let's go live. You should, if you are not tied down, if your kids are grown and you're not tied down, go do what you want. If you have kids
Amen,
and that's
brother.
what you're trying to do, yeah. Like do your thing, but do not tie yourself down. Go live your life, pay your mortgage, own your house, then go travel as much as you can. Go experience life, go dancing, go live. That's what keep moving's all about. Going to
I
live.
love that because you know what? So many people are so afraid of trying something new. It's like fear is a big factor of stopping people doing what they want to do. It's like, I want to travel the world right now. I think I feel stuck right now in a way. And I feel like I need to
Mhm.
fly like a bird, fly everywhere and anywhere and experience life, experience different cultures, experience
Mhm.
people. And you and I were talking earlier and you told me a very fascinating story. It's like, don't tell what you want to build because then somebody will probably want to take it and, how it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't
yeah.
say it. But it's like things like that's what experiencing life is all about.
No, I think if you've never, and let me say this, the type of people I want to travel are the people who
Mhm.
will never otherwise travel. Never.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that will never get to experience the full life. They experience life in segments. Experience parts of life. Fully embracing life means, one of the great things I do is every year I go to a USC football game. And, a friend of mine who I met randomly has a suite there. And guess what? Now, when I go to a game every year and I go to a suite, and that's what I do every year. Madison Square Gardens. I've been to events and concerts there, free of charge actually. So, you get
Akil,
when
you
you
get
experience.
around.
Well, I'm like the, player be playing, pimpin' be pimpin'.
Akil, my friend, because it's like at one point or another, you and I work together per se, or however
Yeah,
you want to say it. And then
yeah,
all
we
of a
work
sudden
together. Yeah,
you're traveling here. Then all of a sudden you're traveling there. And then all of a sudden you're catching a
yeah.
flight. I'm like, Akil, the fudge. Like you get around, not in a bad way though.
But I want it. I want that. That's what I want in life.
Yeah.
And because now that I know what my goal is. See, I used to think the goal was like, yo, I want to have $25 million in the bank. I want to have like 3 Bentleys and a Rolls Royce. I'm like, No, no, I don't. I don't want those things. I go to most cities and I catch a bus. I'm in no hurry. I'm like, I'll grab the bus, whatever. I'll wait. People are like, why'd you get a bus? I was like, I could have Ubered, but then what? I would have missed all the excitingness on the bus where the people were trying to stab each other.
You
You
like to
know,
experience life and people.
I'm a people watcher. I think because of my inability to sometimes connect fully with communities, because I don't stay anywhere long enough to like truly build every community, right? That's
Yeah.
why there's a great thing called social media. Is like people can engage with me without having to do the things that I would do. There's a lot of people who don't have any community. And so I want to build a sense of community for people who are definitely trying to have someone in their life that they can look to and be like, yo, that's Unc right there. That's Big Unc. He's a
Big
character. He is a passionate man. He'll pick up, he'll text you. We can call him. We can have a good time. That's what it is. And
Look,
that's what I want
people
to give
don't know
people.
how big Unc. One of the things that I love about you, it's like you are for the people, you take care of the people, and I like that you're taking time for yourself. Oh, Tammy said, sir, you've Notre Dame too. I know you went over there and got to
Yes, I
meet
have.
Tammy.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
was
me
like,
and my Tam
yep,
Tam. Yeah, me and Tam Tam, like we had lunch, met her husband, and just we had like literally like the dinner or the lunch we had. Notre Dame Stadium's like right there. It
yeah,
was so cool. And then we went over and we got a picture with Touchdown Jesus. Like that's dope. There are
yeah.
so many people that will never get to that kind of experience, and guess what? I had it. I want to do it again.
And you experience life to the fullest. What I was telling Tammy when I was
Mhm.
talking to her, and I was like, Akil's coming on the show, and I'm so freaking excited. I've missed him. And, it's like, I don't even know why we don't even follow up with each other once in a blue moon just to say hi, but I know how I can be too. And I know that you're a busy person. But what I was telling her, I remember too, remember when we were in Miami and, the whole team
Oh,
was
Miami.
there. And
Yeah.
then we're like,
And yeah,
Akil, come and
somebody
podcast with
passed on the table.
us. Yes, and then all of a sudden, you freaking booked a flight, and it was literally a 24-hour turnaround time. Like, that is the type of person you came
Yep.
and met the team, and it was like, Big Unk. You spent some time as we went to events. You got to see us working in action, and I'm like, that is the freaking type of person. And everybody was like, Akil, Akil. They were all obsessed with Big Unk. All the
It's a
crew,
good time.
and we filmed a
It's a
couple
good time,
podcasts.
right?
Which, I don't even know what happened to the podcast. Or actually, I remember this because I was trying to clean my drive. And then it was like, you got some big files. And I was like, what the fudge? And then I was looking
Oh,
back at
those
the
are things
years.
for
And
me, yeah.
yeah, and some of them were the podcasts that we did. And then you guys didn't even know, but I was actually filming you guys without you guys even knowing. I don't even know if I ever published that stuff, and but those
Oh
were
god, probably
so
not.
no, it's
Mm.
like the stuff that you guys were saying, but it's hilarious. It literally is good for a reality show. And you guys had no idea that I was, filming. Were you there when Stacky came and cooked for us too? Like she made a whole feast. It was like grits
Yeah,
and
so Stacky
shrimp.
cooked the night before. So, yeah, because what had happened, oh, remember I came in and there was gas station sushi?
Oh,
Somebody had left gas. And I was like, "This is ridiculous. Like, who?" And it's not like it was. I was like, "Yo, this is gas station sushi."
oh my
And then
gosh.
somebody was like, "This is fire." I was like, "No, it's not fire. It's gonna put your booty hole on fire."
You know why it was fire? Because we were so hungry and did we have a car? Yeah, we did have a car. Somebody drove that lived close by. The other was Ubered. And I don't even know why we didn't make time to go to the grocery store. But I think we ended up going to the grocery store when you got there because you were clowning us about the freaking sushi. And all of a sudden, we're like, okay, let's do the grocery store.
Yeah, yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Like I have no idea, but and there was a lot of people in that house. But you know what? I thought it was a cool event.
Mhm.
I got to hang out with Mad, Nikki, so those guys, and I do miss them. I miss all of them. I try to text. So here's my thing, and everyone's gonna wonder why am I actually really good at being a big unk? Is because there are days where like I'll be sitting around like my buddy Al yesterday, great guy, works in the cannabis for the world's largest cannabis company, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, man, I heard a like a DJ rhyme like drive by, and I was like, I gotta text Al because Al's a DJ, and that's how my brain worked. I just picked up my phone and I texted him. I was like, hey, bro, I was thinking about you. You one of my homeboys, his his birthday is Christmas Eve, but the funny thing is he's Jewish, so he doesn't celebrate Christmas. And so for me, it's easy to remember his birthday. I'm like, hey, bro, Merry Christmas. And he gets mad at me every year. He's like, you can't just say happy birthday. I'm like, nah.
You're like, nah, this is it's gonna be.
Yeah. So every year I do that to him. But see, that's how I think about people. There's got to be
Mhm.
something that triggers my mind to make me think of them. And it could be like the sun's going down. The other day, the photo that I sent Tammy was just me thinking, oh, this kid just lit up my nephew. He's a baby. He's just like 8 months old. And he gives me this smile. And when he smiled, it reminded me of Tammy's bright light. Like when I see Tammy, I think like this aura of sunshine around her. And I was like, hey, this smile made me think of you.
She is literally a ball of sunshine. Tammy and I,
Yeah.
it's like we became very close, even more so after we met. Once I met her, I went to dinner with her and her husband,
Mhm.
and it was such an amazing time. Her husband is such a gentleman, and he took real good care of us. I had gone to the Michigan blockchain. It was the first year that Michigan University was having a crypto conference where we're bringing along a lot of universities from the United States to talk about blockchain, what they're building, etc. And they
Yeah.
drove down there and they came through, and that was like the first time that I met her. We went to dinner, had drinks, and then we had a fight. It was a very chill, relaxed, fun night. But yeah, she is
Yeah.
very a happy person.
Yeah, and so that's how it works for me when my relationships with people is that I try to maintain them. Even on social media, if it's a simple like I like their stuff or I'll send them a message on Instagram. A young man I met 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago,
Yeah.
hadn't talked to him, and I liked the message. I was like, oh, I liked it. And he's like, I haven't talked to you forever, Unc. Life's good. I got a girlfriend, but I've got a question for you. Cool. What's up? And he says, I'm getting back in the faith, but I want to know, like, what's the difference between being a Christian and being a Catholic? And I was like, pretty much the Eucharist, the Holy
Mhm.
Communion, and then that's it. And he's like, what? I go, look, no one likes the hierarchy of anything. And rather you're Catholic, Christian, Lutheran, Episcopalian, whatever it is, it all originated with the Catholic Church. But at some point, someone didn't like something and they decided to do something else. And it's like everyone always does it, right? But as long as you have a faith or you have faith, then you're gonna be all right. And he was just in that moment, like he was so grateful, and he starts telling me all this stuff about what he's going through. And again, it wasn't like I did anything miraculous. I just said, hey man, it really doesn't matter what you are as long as you believe in something.
Yeah.
And it's how our relationships grow and our bonds get stronger. And as we bounce all over the map. So
Absolutely. I want to ask you, because when you were a little bit younger, you one of the things in doing a lot of research on you, even though I already knew you and who you are, but there's still, you're like an onion, right? It's like you peel a layer and there's more to you, more to you. But you spend years like living what you called a double life. What was more exhausting for you, hiding from other people or hiding from yourself, when you felt like you were living that double life?
So with a queer identity, I will say the most exhausting part of it was knowing that every day I have to look myself in the mirror
Mhm.
and not like myself. I you know, you don't want to look at the reflection of the man in the mirror
Mhm.
because you've got to make it. I mean, God, Michael Jackson, uh, you take a
Man
look at
in the
yourself. Yeah, right. You take a look at yourself and make the change today, right? And so for
Yeah.
me, that was harder, was knowing that I had to change myself. And I'm gonna say I didn't really start changing myself until I was probably 35. I'm 40 now. Like before then, like you are in your 20s, you're trying to make it. In your 30s, you're trying to hold on to it, right?
Mhm.
You're trying to just scrape and just climb just a little bit higher. And then one day you're gonna get to the point where you're just gonna be like, who cares? Who
Like,
cares?
it
I
doesn't
mean, who
matter.
cares? Like,
Okay.
who cares who we want the power? It's like, why? So you can control other people's lives because you're miserable? Keep it. Keep all that shit. I don't want it. It's just for the birds.
So help understand. And I may be ignorant for this, but I'm okay with asking the questions that sometimes, I really haven't asked in the past and I want to understand. But when you say queer identity, what can you explain to me the difference between like the queer identity, gay, and how you associate with one or the other? Are they the same thing? Like,
So I think what it is I'm a freak. I'm a freak. No.
before I even knew, when I first
What?
met you, I didn't know, and I already knew you were a freak by the conversations that you were having and by you getting naked on the podcasts and
Man, I
stuff
don't
like
care. Like I think it's taken me a long time. So Leslie, would you like to hear a story?
whatever you want to tell me, friend, go for
All right, so
it.
this story happens twice. I'll explain it. So it was June, actually it was today, June 17th. Or no, no, it was June 19th. June 19th, 2007. It's 20 years ago. I have an internship heading over to Ireland, and my buddy goes with me. We go for my brother's wedding, which was today. 2 days later, we're over in Ireland, and my buddy goes, "Let's go to England." And so
Mhm.
we go to England, and we go to this place called it was like the Admiral Duncan, I think it was Admiral Duncan. It's like one of the oldest pubs ever. But the Admiral Duncan actually is a gay club, a gay bar. But I did not know it was a gay bar. So like neither of us did. We just kind of like popped in because they had 1 pound, like basically $1 beer night. Who wouldn't go? Especially when
Yeah.
you're an offensive lineman. I heard $1 beer night. I was like, I'm in. So we end up going to this place. Again, I've got no idea it's a gay bar or anything. And we're drinking, me and my buddy, we're just drinking, we're talking to these people, and like there's like more and more people coming to hang out with us. Well, my buddy looks around, he goes, hey man, there's a lot of guys over here. And then he looks above us. Like again, neither of us thought to look up, and he goes, "Oh, okay, makes sense." Looks back at me, and I go, "What?" He goes, and I look up, and it's like littered. The whole ceiling's like littered with like pride flags and glitter. Two things that we hate. Not because I just don't like the flag. It's just a lot for me. I don't know. This shirt's a lot for somebody. So anyway, so then we end up talking, and then he's like, "I'm leaving." I'm like, "It's cheap beers." He's like, "I'm leaving." So we end up getting into a fight. We get separated. Now at this point, we're pretty drunk, and I start walking around London, and I end up at this club called Club. Ready for this? Club GAY. And I stop and I look and I go, nah. And I just keep walking. I didn't go in. I went around the corner. And as I'm turning the corner, this I think it was a trans woman. I could be wrong. It could have just been like an ugly little boy. I don't know. But this person grabbed me and was like, "How would you like to win £1,000?" And I'm pretty drunk. And I said, £1,000? What do I got to do? Now I'm like 19, 20 years old. Like I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm still young,
Yeah.
ish. And so I'm like, what? And they're like, there's a contest tonight. All you have to do is dance and you'll win £1,000. And I was like, sure. And they're like, if you lose, you get a free drink. And I was like, sounds like a win-win to me. So I go up now. Remember, I went on the around the corner was another club, right? I'm at the back and there's other bars in the street. So I'm thinking I just gotta, go to another bar. So this person grabs me, takes me up this windy staircase up to like a green room where there's a bunch of people. There is a famous porn star in this room with me, but he's not famous yet. And he goes by the name of Danny D. If anybody wants to know, so his name's Danny D is the sports star. So we go to this thing. It's a windy staircase. We get there, and they explain what we have to do. They say you have to go out on this stage. You have to pick a song, and you've got 30 seconds to dance, and then you've got to drop trowel. And I was like, "What do you mean drop trowel?" And they were like, "You got to be fully naked." So I was like, "Oh."
Oh, geez.
All right. I just say, all right, well, I'm drunk, whatever. Again, I don't know where I'm at, Leslie. I do not know where I'm at. So I think that it's like just some little theater, right?
Yeah.
I went up a back stairwell. I can't really see. I'm a little drunk. So then they bring us down the stairs and they put us in like another waiting room. And so we go one out at a time. So you can't hear anything. It's kind of dark. And then they go, okay, big guy, you're up. Now, the song I chose was Since You've Been Gone. It was the only song that I knew. Like I said, I didn't know any other
Since You've Been
songs. Right?
Gone by Kelly
They had like
Clarkson?
Madonna. Yeah, the only song I knew that they had was Since You've Been Gone. It was that time, and I had heard it before. So I was like, I know this one. I didn't know any Madonna songs. I don't know any Pet Shop Boys. I don't know no George Michaels or Bruce. I just don't know that. I just know there's this Kelly Clarkson song, and I'm going to dance to it. Leslie,
Oh my goodness.
they walked me out onto a stage, a theater stage, like a Grand Ole Opry size stage. And then when those lights and those curtains came up, there were 3,000 people in this club.
No.
Oh, yeah. But your boy took first place.
So you didn't freeze. You just went for I mean, you're drunk, right? At that point, liquid courage.
Yeah, I was drunk. It was liquid courage, but it was the first time in my life that I felt so free. Like, I didn't know what that was like. I didn't know that there were people who, because I had been stuck in this sports world, right? You go
Yeah.
and you do everything by your coach's book. There's a structure, there's an order, there's a thing. But then I realized, oh my God, there's freedom where people can like get naked and dance on a stage and win $1,000 and not have to worry about what someone thinks. To me, that was a sense of freedom that I had never felt before, and I liked it. Now, I don't do like again, I don't go to pride parades. I don't I've been to a pride parade. I think I took my shirt off in one. I was so fit back then I had to though. I was looking good. My man breasts were all good and
Akil, you can
tight, and I was
take
looking,
your
I
shirt
was
off
popping them out.
everywhere and anywhere that you have the chance to.
Yeah. So I was
If you
looking
could
tight.
take
I was
your
like,
shirt off right now, you would take it off.
oh no. Y'all don't get the free show no more. You got I'm gonna start an OnlyFans now, or maybe my Only Feeds picture. But no. So like I did that, and then now, 20 years later, I'm in London, and I go out, and this time I intentionally go to the Admiral Duncan because I know it's still there, and I'm outside. I'm talking to the bouncer. Now the bouncer, straight guy. We start talking. I mean, because what do bouncers talk about in Roadhouse? Um, your male viewers will understand that one. That's a Ron White joke. But anyway, we start talking. He tells me about his girlfriend, and he's just sitting there. And this guy is in needing to tell me. And he asked me, he's like, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I came here 20 years ago with my friend, and I'm just, kind of, relive it a little bit." And he's like, "Where did you go when you left here?" I said, "Well, we kind of broke up, but I think I ended up at like some place called Club GAY." He goes, "Oh, well, they closed that one." And I says, "Well, I remember going to this club called Heaven." And they were like, "Yeah, they closed that one too." He goes, "But they did merge them together at a smaller venue." So I ended up going back to that same place. And that night, someone grabbed me and said, "Hey, do you want to do Port Idol?" And I said, "Holy shit."
Wait, do you
All
want to
over
be
again.
what?
It's called Porn Idol. That's the name of the event. It's called
Oh,
Porn Idol. You can Google it. It's a real thing. It's a club. It's called Club GAY Heaven and Hell, and it was
yeah.
called Porn Idol. It's a real thing. It happened. Yeah, I beat a porn star out for the $1,000. I think I didn't beat him out because of size, because that guy is like, that's not touchdown Jesus. That's just anyway. I'm serious. It's like, what? At that point, I had, you know what? I've never made fun of a white person after that. I was like, all right, dude had a freaking baby elephant in his pants. Anyway, but I went back, won it, and then I think back to those moments of just being able of freedom, and I think that's kind of where I'm at. When we were asking about what's the difference between the queerness and gay and all that stuff, the L is for the lesbian, the G is for the gay, the B is for bisexual, the T is for trans, and the Q is for questioning or queer. I think if I had to go back and do it again all over, I'd probably just say that I don't care what you want to label me. If I find you attractive, I'll engage. If I don't, I don't. If you find me attractive, you should engage me. I think it's both the way. I don't think at this point in your life it's necessarily about a sexual thing. I think it can be about a metaphysical thing. I think there are
Yeah.
people who connect and gel well together, and that they can be life partners, right? They may
Yep.
never have sex again. I mean, the older you get, the more or less is like, yeah, whatever. To be
I don't
honest
know
with you,
how
I'm
anybody
better at
can
it
live.
myself.
I don't know. To me, getting older is not an excuse. Take a freaking drug or something. But it's like, how can you get older and not find the need to want to do it?
No, I didn't say you didn't want to. What I said was you don't need it. Like, it's not like when
No,
I was
you
like
need it.
20, it was like
No,
it
you
was
need it.
like, yo, if I don't get Leslie, there are 125 women later, and I was like, well, maybe not.
Wait,
Come on.
wait. You said 125 women later. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
was going to be my next question. At what point did you feel like you were not attracted to women or women? Was that like
I never said
after
that.
high school in your
I
college?
think So it was more on like after college. So there was a
Yeah.
opportunity. So there was a time when I was living in Montana. I was living in Montana and I met this girl who was on a college basketball team. I met her at a
Mhm.
bar. She had a boyfriend and she introduced me to him. The next thing you know, the three of us are like, you know, like rice and water. We just mixed well together. We cooked up a pot. We had some fun. And then like he told her that he didn't like her anymore. And then he looks at me and goes like, "But you're cool." And I was like, "Wait a second. This is gonna get messy because she brought me over." Yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh. And then after that,
True story. Oh yeah, that
that's
was
when you were like,
Pocatello. We ended up. No, I think after that it was like I think what happened, and this is where I think this is why I have issues with a lot of stuff in the LGBT space, is that when you force someone who is young and still not sure to give you an answer, that's
yeah,
unfair.
very.
And a lot of parents like, it's okay to be trans or it's okay. Listen, I wanted to be a rocket scientist. Changed my mind. Math is hard. I had a friend who went through the full transition surgery from male to female. After they decided they didn't want to be a woman anymore. Like, I don't think you have to decide something that is so permanent. If
Yeah.
you choose, it is your choice and you
Yeah.
live with the consequences of that. But you shouldn't have to choose who you want to be in bed with. You shouldn't have to choose who you choose to love. You should have to choose what makes you happy. And labels are for soup cans, not for humans. So label yourself whatever you want, a Catholic, LGBT, a Christian, whatever you want to label yourself, whatever makes you feel better. But labels are for soup cans, not for human beings. And sometimes those labels can harm us more than they help us.
Oh, freaking absolutely. It's like, why do you have to label and why are some people so big on labeling themselves as well? Like, is that going to make you feel any different?
I don't I it's like if somebody says my political, well, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican. Okay, I'm Akil. Nice to meet you. Like, let's shake hands. Want to go have a beer? Like, I didn't ask you that. I can eventually tell because of some of the things that might come out of your mouth, but doesn't mean that I hate you for it.
Yeah.
It means that I have a different of opinion. And I want people to hear this one. Your opinion does not absolve you from getting popped in the face. I mean, there are consequences to all actions.
What
Like,
opinions would
call
trigger
me
you so much to pop somebody in the face, Akil? Because I've seen you
Chud
upset.
the Yeah, but Chud, like if Chud the Builder, like if that guy like Chud the Builder started following me around, calling me an N-word, and I was like, why are you following me? That's what upset me. Like,
Yeah.
bro, get the fuck away from me. I've been called the N-word and not even given a rat's ass. I'm like, whatever. I have been at the bar. Let me tell you this. I used to drink with these rednecks back in the day, right? I mean, some real
Yeah.
good old boys, West Virginia hillbillies. And I went out and I could win them over in 30 seconds. Because, and next thing you know, they're buying me beers and shots and telling me I'm one of the good ones. Whatever. And people go, how could you coon up to them? And I go, it's not about cooning up to them. Guess what? Next time they meet a black person, I might have saved your life because now they look at us differently because of me. It's like Jackie Robinson in baseball. They looked at everyone different because of him, because of how he carried himself. And so that's why it's important to make friends with people who you think are your enemies. You should make friends with them. Try to make friends with them. Find a commonality. If not, don't make enemies. Make at least respected counterparts. You don't have to be friends, but you can respect each other in each other's space. I rather have an outright racist who says, "Hey, man, I'm not comfortable around black people." I'm like, "Okay, no problem, bro. I'll go on the other side of the bar. You stay on your side. Sounds good to you? Sounds good to me." And you can go live your life. See? There's no confrontation there. You understand that they don't like black people. You're saying, okay, I get it. You don't like black people. Go in bed, go live your life, and I'll live mine.
Do you think like so many people misunderstand so many things because we assign feelings and emotion words?
Well, not words, not words. Remember, America is one of the few countries where a word doesn't mean the same. So uh, I love Pope Leo. So whenever I quote him, just know that Pope Leo said one day, he goes, the world has forgotten that words have meaning. So
Yeah.
when Leslie, I've always said this to people. I'm like, when people would attack my friends and they'd be like, well, this is what he said. I says, that's not what he said. He said, if, and he's like, he was making a hypothetical. He didn't say he hates. He says, well, if someone hates you, oh, you hate us. It's like, no, he said, if someone did, he was making an analogy, but you lost it because you were so angry. We have to start listening to people and hearing what they're saying. Don't listen to how they say it. I had a football coach tell me all the time, don't listen to how I say it, listen to what I'm saying. Because beyond the loudness and the anger, there is something there. And if
Mhm.
you listen to those people, you will be put on to smart folks. I've got a friend, Aiden, I met in crypto. Same thing. We talked, we became friends. People thought he was crazy. He was trying to explain something that was so far advanced that I couldn't understand it. Now, this is like 2020, and we're talking, and he's talking about like, you know, you know, AI and supercomputers, and I'm like, whoa, 6 years ago, 6 years ago, and he's like, AI is going to be able to do your work for you. Guess what? I edit on AI. Like I send my like I send contracts and I get it to review things. It's a tool. But when he was telling me 6 years ago, I thought people were like thinking he's nuts. No, he was putting you onto some real stuff. But you couldn't listen to the facts. Instead, you listen to your emotional feelings. Pull the emotions out of it. Listen to the reality of the world. And the reality is there are smart people that will say things that are not the way you want them said. Don't be a Karen, be a Kathy. Kathy listens.
Oh, yes, and I think that when people think outside this is one of the things that I've learned throughout the years. If you think outside of the box and people are not catching up, people are saying it's weird or whatnot, keep doing it because
Yep.
eventually go into something. Akil, do you remember a few years back when I was doing my reporter AI videos, where I was uploading my
Mhm.
face and it was a reporter and it was talking and people were like, what the is that? That's such a weird video. You should stop doing AI videos, etc. And that was before, so, it's like everybody was doing them a few years back. And now this is all we see, on, especially on X and the promotion with crypto and the paid content. All we see now is AI videos, AI
Yeah.
images, even of our own likeness. And I'm like, if I would have kept going, who knows where I would have been with that. But it's like, how do you feel about I think crypto is the future of the
I
monetary
still do.
system.
Oh, no, I think so. So when I was in Europe, I use crypto. Like when I'm traveling all over the world, it's how do I, because there's this thing called the exchange, right? And I have to pay a percentage out. Well, when there's a card, I'm not going to bring up because I want them to sponsor me. There's a credit card system that they have over in Europe that we don't have here in America. And so when I was over there, I was able to set up a card there, and then I could transfer my USDC to that card and convert it. And I didn't pay any fees. Maybe like 10 cents or something. I don't know. But it's better than paying like going to ATM and paying like $800 or using your credit card and getting 6% charge on it. So I was basically doing that. And then if I found some place that accepted it, I tapped and I put in my PIN and I got cash out and I got euros. So I was able to save money by doing something that was crypto related, and it took out the middleman. I didn't have to go to a Western Union. I have to, get charged $17 by my bank. So
And in my
yeah,
opinion,
I
it's
think
a
it's still
lot
the
better
future.
than using your banking system. Like I haven't used my banking system in a while. I've been getting paid in crypto and the fees, and then I stake some of it, make rewards or whatnot, transfer it to a certain wallet, have the credit card from that wallet. And for me, it's a lot cheaper.
Mm,
It's like I take profits when whatever, if I'm using Solana, ETH, or whatever, when it goes up, I'll take some profits, pay bills, depending on what currency getting paid. And I haven't used my bank
take out a loan.
in a minute. Huh?
No, don't convert. Don't convert. Take out the loan against it.
No, why would
So
I?
here's
No.
why I'm going to tell you. So see,
Okay,
here's
tell me.
why. All right. So if you bought the Solana super cheap, right? Say you bought it for
Mhm.
$2, right? And it's up to $79. If you lose that asset, whatever, you lost a couple bucks. And guess what? You get to write off the loss. You get to write off the loss you're taking on that crypto if it's seized. If you take out the loan against your crypto, you are also taking out an untaxed event because you have not sold the crypto. You have simply taken out a loan against your own thing. And so you don't pay taxes on the loan. And if the crypto goes back up, then you can take out another loan, or you could buy back the crypto that you took out for the loan or whatever. But it allows you to play with it a little bit more instead of being stuck into the very box world that we got in. So this allows you to, number one, put off, I didn't say avoid, but you can put off paying taxes, at least on that loan that you've given. And again, you've loaned yourself the money. It's your assets. You are loaning them to someone. They are giving you cash. They are holding them until you pay it off. But guess what? The higher the price goes, you start taking some of that asset back, right? Because you don't have to pay off more, and you get a lower rate than you would from going one of these payday lenders, one of these loan sharks. So look at it for what it truly is. It is a genius system in which we can participate in, and that will save the everyday person money. Like pennies versus dollars makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If I can just get rid of something for or exchange it for pennies, and I don't have to pay $17, $18 out of my check, or I don't have to take out a loan that's like 11.5% interest. This is a win-win. This is a win-win. So that's why I say what I say.
Akil,
I know.
what the fudge do
The
you
brain.
think of what's happening right now? Do you think that right now that we have the government institutions in crypto, they're manipulating especially with whatever the fudge is happening overseas, tariffs, oil, it's like, because right now it's like a lot of people, crypto has gone down. People say, oh, the bottom's in.
So some will say that. I think the feds are looking at another interest rate cut, which is going to further devalue the dollar, I think, long term. But, look, hedge your bets. I hedge my bets. I'm an old fashioned guy. I don't put all my eggs in one basket. Buy dirt, buy Bitcoin. Only two things I could ever tell you to do: buy dirt, buy Bitcoin. They're not going to make any more dirt. They're not making any more Bitcoin. Two things that seem fairly safe. They might fluctuate, but ultimately, long term, they will both be valuable assets. Everything else.
I was going to say, do you really think that Bitcoin is going to be the one world current digital currency?
No, it's not the one world digital currency.
Which one do you think
it's going to be? It's just going to be a stored asset. It's going to be a stored asset, and people will take out loans against them, helping with generational wealth. I think it's going to safeguard wealth. Bitcoin's designed to safeguard wealth. And if you are someone that got in early enough, you will be able to protect and defend some of these assets. But I think ultimately, for everyone else, it's going to be like their system is going to be based off of something. So if the Federal Reserve only has so much Bitcoin and so much gold to back things, it'll kind of let us know, like, hey, guys, we ain't got the money. I mean, because debt has become the new form of currency. Everyone says, like, you can't buy a car without debt. You can't buy a house without debt because it affects your credit score. So you need debt. And once you get some debt and you pay it off, but if you go in and you said, I've never had a credit card, they're like, well, we don't trust you. I've never had to pay for anything. Nope, we don't trust you. You could show up with cash and they'll be like, we got to look into this. So debt is what we're operating off since the 1970s. Fuck you, Nixon. Sorry, had to get that out. Asshole
No,
took us
because
into World War, Vietnam. So he's dead anyway.
Look, I always say that the government created, the president created this system to keep us financially enslaved to this monetary system. You know, we're like working ants.
Yeah, I mean, some people need to be ants, though. I'm not gonna say I'm not a king, right? I don't live high in the castle. I live high enough, but I don't live high in the castle. So I don't think I need to be the one that tells everyone else. But there are some people that are workers. They just it's the feudalist system. Like somebody's got to be a worker. But how much they work, that is something that could change. Andrew Yang several years ago talked about UBI, which is Universal Basic Income, which gave you an income just because you existed. You taxed the mega corporations that had the AI data centers, which we're going to do eventually. So get ready for it, billionaires. And I mean trillionaires, excuse me, trillionaires and billionaires. At some point, you can't hoard all the wealth amongst a small population expected to get to everyone else, because the wealthy never want to give it up. That's why Bitcoin will be a stored digital asset. It's where the wealthy will hide their money from the rest, because they will get taxed on other things at a larger rate, because they don't need people to run most of these data centers. They're not hiring 70,000 people. Think about this. In 1980, there was a movie that came out like 9 to 5, with Dolly Parton. You ever seen that?
The 9 to 5, yeah.
Yeah, working 9 to 5, just a way to make a living. All right, so in 1980s, Dolly Parton and them make this movie 9 to 5. If you go in and watch that movie, in the opening scene, you would see an office full of secretaries typing and an office full of people picking up the phone and answering calls. Those jobs don't exist anymore. None of them do. So what happens to all those people? Well, they have to leave the workforce and go do something else. AI is pushing more people out of the workforce. And so then if you have the universal basic income and then you are able to have more people working in like part-time jobs effectively, then you're looking at what could ultimately become a better quality of life, where people are spending more time with their family, they are engaged in outdoor activities, they are traveling. That month off a year that they give you in Europe becomes a month off here in America, where we settle for 2 weeks. An extra day added with each year that you've been here for service. So what? So I get 2 weeks, and after 5 years, I can get another, week? That's it? Oh, no, I'm good.
That's wild stuff. I do think that AI is taking over.
Yeah.
And it's going to take over the human population, and it's going to end up killing us because they want to be the main humans, and
no. So AI, I'm gonna say the
look,
safeguards are mostly there. I worry about the Palantirs, but I do think there does need to be federal regulation where this has to be encrypted and coded into the back end. Like it has to have a kill switch. We need a kill switch. That's all I'm saying. Like we just need a boop.
But do you really think that some of them have a kill switch? I don't think so. I think eventually, it's like, even if you want to kill it, wasn't there one AI that overtook or something, that it was overtaking or not responding properly, They tried to kill it and it rebelled, rewrote its own code again, something like that. Did you hear
Yeah,
about
so
that?
it was so there was a guy who trained it. So AI is about training it though, right? So data
Yeah.
analytics say that it has to be trained, right?
Mhm.
The thing that I worry about is that people inject their bias. There is something called data bias. A friend of mine,
Yeah.
actually, I talked about this on someone else's show years ago. Then when we started another show, but it was talking about data bias, and that means that if a racist gets a hold of the data, right, they will be talking about all the dumb stuff and making this computer think that anything like looks like this has to be bad, right? Anything that looks like this. And so they inject bias into their algorithms, their databases. That's why I don't trust Palantir. It's run by Peter Thiel, who is known not to, I mean, you can just
But
Google
I
him.
mean, if people really understood what Palantir is and what it does and the agencies it works with, why the fudge would we even trust it?
Well,
I
look,
mean,
I didn't
because
invite,
look, I've talked to a lot of people. I've been in certain spaces too where they talk about it, right? And some people are for it. Some people are like, go Palantir and go this, and this is going to be great. And I'm like, do you honestly really think that that's going to be great? You know, the information that they're getting, the freaking agencies that partner with, you know, it's like that is to me the highest type of surveillance. And I mean, we're literally exposed. It's like you're naked in front of somebody that you don't want to be naked.
hmm well, we're definitely naked.
It's a form of control and completely
Yeah,
taking your
but
identity.
but again, it's the cost risk analysis. It's like,
Yep.
what am I giving up? I'm not giving up my trade secrets. Like that's why I say like dumb people will not succeed in this market. The people who are dumb will not succeed. You're going to be you you will be working at the Slobster. Okay,
Okay, and
that's your
so what do you mean
part-time
by
job.
dumb people? Okay, so elaborate because there's some dumb people that are really like, and you were saying dumb
No,
people
that's
are
what I
not
mean.
gonna
No,
succeed.
no. Remember, there's a difference. So people who used to call people dumb, the ones
Yeah.
who said, "Oh, you're crazy. Why are you investing in this? Why are you investing in crypto? You're going to lose all your money. You're going to go broke." Now, what do those people do? When Bitcoin was at 10,000, I wish I would have bought it then. No, you were still speculative back then. You didn't care. You are what I call you are the ant. You are the worker bee. You are the one who gets mad because they cut the typist job. Well, they don't need typists anymore. AI will do it for us. Oh, but I was really good at spreadsheets. Don't need you, Karen. Bye. I was the guy who made sure all the data was inputted. We don't need you. So now the smart guy is actually the guy who would be the innovator. The innovator wins in the new market, not the dumbass who's like, I'm really good at this. And I used to get all the credit. Now it's, ha ha, see ya. Because you're not innovating, you're not creating. AI needs someone to help train it, help it understand, help it learn. The thoughts that are locked up here, the IP's where it's at. Your intellectual property is everything. And so once you're able to capitalize on that, then you'll move the markets. You'll see people get out of your way. The dumb people are the doers who are the worker bees. The worker bees no longer needed.
You know, for some reason, I thought you were a minute there against crypto, like you hated crypto. Wasn't there like a period where you were against it, or is that me
I was
just,
against your
or you
shit
had a,
coins.
okay, there we go. There we
Shit
go.
coin. You are a shit coiner for years, Leslie.
I know, and I didn't remember, but I know that we would have conversations or you would be in spaces sometimes because you never really came, but sometimes you would come in. Oh my God. And I remember you despised, but to me, it's in the same realm, you know, crypto. You know what?
No,
Why
no,
did
no,
you
no.
hate why did you hate
Crypto,
shitcoin so much?
crypto is a cryptocurrency is
Shit.
blockchain technology.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit coins are speculative nothings.
But
Meme
okay,
coins,
so
if the community doesn't like it anymore, it's done.
but you
It
know that
died.
there have been a lot of meme coins that have actually survived and are
Yeah,
building and have you
Dogecoin, you can take a loan out against your Dogecoin,
yeah,
but it's because the community kept it going.
right.
That's why.
You don't think Bitcoin is a meme coin? Or you're talking literally about the shit coins that we would go in and, try to make a few bucks, and I don't do those anymore because I figured it out.
Everybody's jumping little poopy coin. Everybody jumping fairy dust coin and unicorn coin and blah blah blah. And I'm like, there's no technology behind it. Why are you doing it? It's not building on anything. It's not. It doesn't help anybody scale. It doesn't help. It doesn't help companies transact faster. It doesn't help protect algorithms or any. It doesn't. There's no protection coin or anything here. It is just straight. Put it on pump fund and then watch it run, and
I
then
mean,
dump
but
on
what's
your
the
head.
difference with Bitcoin?
And then
Bitcoin
these
kinda stayed the same until they took
bros
off.
and then your tele.
I'm just
Let I know you just didn't say it to me. What's the difference between that and Bitcoin?
Oh, shit.
This is a big unk moment. I'm gonna cuss you out. All right, I'm gonna cuss you out, girl. You gonna
I didn't
you
mean to
ask,
trigger you.
you asking for it. What is wrong with you?
Just a little. Oh my goodness gracious.
Ethereum, the network that it provides, the
Oh,
transactions that happen on it.
how many times did you get burned on these fucking meme coins? Sorry, on these fudging meme coins? Because I know you must have
Me?
invested in some.
Oh, oh,
Tell me you did it.
in the grand scheme of things, I've been burned. There was hold on. Squid Games coin, I got burned on. But here's the thing about Squid Games. It was only like $100. Now it went up to it was a honeypot and went up to like 50,000. I was gonna take it and go. There was another coin that we did. It was like a game coin. I can't remember, but I didn't get burned on it because I ended up like cashing out for like maybe like 60K. There was very few. Most of the ones I went into, like I went into Pepe, I bought like $100 to shut my friend David up once. Yeah, very few shit coins that I've gotten burned on. The
So
only
why do you
coin that
hate them so much?
because I've watched other people get burnt on them.
Oh my
Like
god.
people that go all in. Look, there was that coin, Moon coin. Moon?
Mhm.
Was it Moon coin? The one that Dave Portnoy and them got into. Safe
Oh,
Moon.
Safe Moon.
And there were people like, I'm a Safe Moon soldier. I'm the Safe Moon. All right, man, whatever. And then people are like, why aren't you into it? I'm like, it taxes you to go in and to go out. They're just sucking money out of you.
That
No,
was
you're just paying the
wild.
foundation. Huh?
I said that's the wild part, that a lot of these freaking meme coins, or when these celebrities came in and did meme coins, and it would tax you to get in and get out. And to get out, it was such a high tax amount, like plus the gas fees.
Oh, gas fees were crazy back then.
What is the purpose of it at the end of the day? That was
I remember there
ridiculous.
was a time I spent 2 ETH. 2 ETH. I look back and I'm like, I spent like 400, 800 bucks to move a NFT that I don't even own anymore.
I got burned on so many of these freaking, anytime that I thought I had insider info, dude, I was exit liquidity. Exit liquidity.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, one of the things that I learned is to do futures perp trading. And
Mhm.
after that, it's rare that I even go into any. I don't think I've gone into any or bought any like months, half a year. I don't know. All I've been doing is trading.
Yeah, I buy little amounts of Bitcoin every day, like just like $10 every day, just because doesn't matter what the
But no more
price. I
meme
just
coins?
buy a little bit. Huh?
No more meme coins?
Well, I was never into the meme coin industry anyway. It just wasn't me. Like it doesn't fit my personality. And people used to always get upset, like, you're just hating. I don't hate, I just don't care. Now I
Yeah.
can talk about it with a sense of rationalist. I'm a rational person, and I'll be like, well, this doesn't make sense here. And why would you charge for this? Like, I think through, let me tell you this much. If the world was going to end tomorrow, don't tell me, because I really don't care. If the world did end and we knew it was going to end tomorrow, I'd probably be like wilding out. I'll probably just go to like a store, rob it, eat. I'd go to a restaurant, order a meal, not pay for it, walk out. They'll be like, we're gonna call the cops. I'm like, good luck.
For what purpose? Just to see how it feels or the adrenaline
No,
rush?
because we listen, if you got 24 hours to live, what would you do? Who would you screw? Or would you ask deny that your ass about to die? Me, I'm not gonna deny it. I'm just gonna go out there and do everything I want to do. I'm gonna have a good meal. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm not even gonna spend any time on the apps. I'm just stand in the middle of Times Square and be like, hey, look, anybody want to give me a BJ? Anybody? Just asking, you know.
Oh my god.
I would just, why even pretend anymore? You got 24 hours. Go live. And that's my
Live.
approach to life right now. It's like, look, I could fight people on things, but instead, I'm just going to live my life. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about what's next. I'm worried about people not having to get to 40 years old and figuring it out. I want young people to say, what's my plan? What's my retirement goal? What is it? Give me that number. If you don't know your retirement goal when you're 20, 21, then you're messing up. You need to plan for that. You need to have those goals. And it can't just be like the financial number. It has to be, what do I want my life to look like? Do you see
Yeah.
yourself with a wife and a kid? Do you see yourself with like a significant other and no children? Do you see yourself single? What is it that you want out of your life? This is what I mean by planning. And we don't do that with young people anymore because they're told you got to grind, grind, grind. And that's what they think is success. Andrew Tate is successful. Yes. Gary Vee is successful. Yes. Wealth does make people very successful, but wealth does not cure your woes. And you'll find that out. I mean, there are people right now, they got a bag in their hand and a gun on their hip because they're paranoid because they got the money hustling somebody else out of their stuff. So we need to start raising better men. And that means we, the community. So that means Big Unc is stepping up to the plate to have these conversations and to keep it moving. Look, you can listen to me or you can tell me to go kick rocks. I'll be okay with it. Your uncle doesn't decide your life. He just the one that like gives you some wisdom and keeps it moving.
Powerful words of wisdom. And with that being said, I've had you here for 2 hours and I want to do some quick rapid fire with you before we begin wrapping it up. Are you ready for some of these rapid fire questions?
Just remember to tag me in all socials.
Yes.
Ready to go. Let's go.
And we will show all your socials in a minute. Akil. Okay. So let's begin this rapid fire.
All right, rapid fire.
One or the other, or whatever your answer may be. Mountains or beaches?
Mountains.
Wrestling mat or football field?
Open the gym doors. We got both.
Be respected or be understood?
I'd rather you understand me than have to respect me. But I like respect too. So respect.
New York City or Paris?
Oh, oh. Am I stuck in only Paris? All
No.
right, it's so like France or New York?
No, we're gonna stay stuck in Paris. Paris or New York?
New York then. I'm sorry, Paris. I love it. It's a very wonderful city, great escargot, great food, but New York's pizza and the bagels, it's just
It hits
God.
different. That New York pizza, oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh,
water.
yes. Change your past or see the future.
Be in the present. So I guess see the future. I don't know, not much I want to change.
Love it. Olympic gold or best-selling book?
Best-selling book.
Tell a hard truth or keep the peace?
Tell the hard truth.
Comfort or growth?
Growth.
Window seat or aisle seat?
Aisle. Can't be in a window seat.
Wait, what?
I
See, this
can't be in the window seat. The windows, so the plane is curved, and because I'm
yeah.
tall, I just get slouched over like this.
So you and I would
So
be great travel companions because I like the window seat and I always want the window seat.
yeah, I like the aisle because I can keep my knee out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the reason I fly so much is because I do need premier class. And it's so much cheaper to get bumped up if you just buy premier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, legacy or happiness?
Well, both. I mean, I don't have to choose.
There you have it. And then relive your greatest victory or erase your biggest regret.
Erase the biggest regret. Really, because
Yes.
the victory happened.
So would you rather relive your greatest victory or erase your biggest regret if you could go back and do one or the other?
Well, all right, I had to erase my biggest regret. I had to
Love
erase the
it.
biggest regret. Yeah.
Akil, do you want wait, before we go anywhere else, everyone, if you are not freaking following Akil, let's go ahead and show his on X. And don't judge me for having white mode or light mode, not white, light mode. Let me re-say that because everybody judges me for having light mode. I have an eye condition, so it has to be light. No, I'm kidding, I don't. I can't
Yes.
see in the dark. So follow Akil. This is his X account at SFD4, number 4 podcast. His link tree is on here as well.
Oh,
So you're able to have the Sunday Funday podcast.
I
His
gotta update that.
you do
like,
because I was
like even
clicking
that.
on
Yeah,
update.
because my name's not even Black Excellence anymore. I changed it years ago. Oh man, I'm an idiot.
Oh my goodness gracious. I
Well, that's good to know. I
remember
gotta
when
go.
you used to call yourself Black Excellence. It was freaking
Look. I think I got on Twitter around the time of the Freddie Gray stuff, and I just wrote Black Excellence, and then
wait, I'm like trying to share your Instagram too. I'm like, hello, this is not his Instagram.
yeah, so I did have Black Excellence, and then somebody I got banned. So
Okay,
yeah.
I'm trying to get your Instagram.
It's at Breaking Big Unk. It's actually in my name at Breaking Big, and it's UNK. So it's at Breaking Big BIGUNK.
What's UNK stand for? Or UNC without the C or
Well, the UNK is Unk as in unknown, unseen,
oh, okay.
untranslated, and I think that's the way we all come into this world.
Yep. So here it is. Wait, you can't hear it? Oh, I hate when it does that.
I can't. It was good for you.
Oh boy, come on. My internet, it's not like me right now. It's been raining. And then it
And
does
it's
this.
causing everything delay.
Yeah, it's like I've been kind of.
I'm the GOAT.
The GOAT.
I'm the greatest of all time.
Really?
That's
Yeah,
it.
undisputed.
Undisputed? I mean,
So now if you and your mama knows what's good for you, you're going to stop doing several things. Number one, you're going to stop calling me at 6 a.m. You're leaving the bar. Number two, you're going to finally learn that I'm not responsible for all the things that you feel. It has never been another man's responsibility to try to understand your emotions. If you've got something to say, say it. Number three, remember, basketball is a sport, not your personality. Fly just committed suicide on my glasses, or Nat. It did. Literally got stuck there. Remember, I am not required to pay your bail. That is the responsibility of your parents. My responsibility, you call me before you call them, just in case I got the cash lying around. Number five, this is my ramen noodles, not yours. So get your own shit. So now if you and your mama knows what's good for you,
Wait,
you're going to stop doing.
I love that so much. So guys, follow Akil, Unk. We're going to call him Unk moving forward at Breaking Big UNK on Instagram. And then again on X, it's going to be SFD4 podcast, Big Unk. Any other social medias? Where is
I'm on TikTok and it's at Breaking Big Unk. It's the same. Oh shit.
the same
What
one?
was that?
Did you already start your podcast?
So yeah, it's on YouTube. It's at Keep Moving Big. At Keep Move Big, I think.
Let's find it. Let's find it.
Yeah, it is. It's still out there.
Oh, my internet. I love you, but I hate you. And it's at Keep Moving. What was the rest?
I think it's at Keep Moving Big. I don't remember. I know you'd be like, Akil, how do you not remember your own thing? It's let me look.
Yeah.
Oh, at Keep Moving BIG. At Keep Moving Big. So it's at Keep Moving. So it's not my fault, but the point is that the podcast lives with outside of me. Like I like being me. I like being my character. I like the Big Unk, the role, the mission. It's not just it's more like a calling. But I think Keep Moving is a movement, and it's bigger than me. You know, it's about getting past our own insecurities, our own bullshit, and talking about things that are uncomfortable, you know? So
yeah, I can't find it.
it's all right. Don't worry. They've
No,
already got me blacklisted.
I mean, somebody else with a different. Yeah, at Keep Moving BIG.
Yeah.
At Keep.
That's it.
Oh, wait. If you're there, you can share the link with me.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well,
Akil's like, I ain't going to do this BS.
I don't know what you need. I was like, yeah, sure. I got this. So good. I don't know why I put another one in my mouth. Here we go. I don't even know what is this.
When are you going to be back on this side of the coast?
Well, I was going to be long story short, I think towards the end of the month I'll be back. Here we go. All right. I just texted it to you. I'm sorry, I got these things in my mouth. You know. And a big unk likes to get down. He likes to. I get high every day. I get high I get high rolling down the I-95. Your favorite unk, Big Unk and Eli.
Oh.
Happy Pride, Eli.
Happy Pride.
All right. Yeah. Happy Pride.
So on that show we did 2 weeks ago.
Happy Pride. Great way to start anything.
Wait, are you guys cartoon characters this whole time?
Yeah, we're cartoon characters because
licensed to take these.
I was working out some of the kinks behind the background, and so we start off with this one. We've upgraded to now still photos. Excuse me, and ultimately I will be on camera again, but I just like doing what I do.
Hilarious. So why are you guys upside down?
Because I wanted to make it intentionally stupid.
This makes me laugh.
I wanted to be intentionally stupid and intentionally dumb because I like to play with things, test out my artistic, creations, and be like, what if I put up this backwards advert thing, went the opposite way, and what would happen? And everyone's like, well, it's dumb, but it's like, well, were you listening to the subject matter or were you staring at my face? And on the next episode, we got a little bit better. We're going to do things a little differently. So there's about 3 or 4 episodes up right now. We just finished the one on the UFC that I'm going to release this Friday, talking about that whole mess. But we've had a great time. See? Right? Yeah, Michelle Obama is the man. There you go. So yeah, I'm experimenting. Just like anyone else.
Oh, Michelle. Okay. Why does everybody think Michelle Obama is a man?
She's not.
Why? Wait, Dana White had nothing to do with UFC rules written. You agree?
See, that's clickbait.
I agree.
So Eli.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, I'm just playing around with my artistic creative side. Oh. Yeah, I'm better at podcasts than I am at video cast. But people like to see my face. So
you know what? I always say that too. I love doing production more than being at the forefront. I love production. I do love doing everything behind the scenes. One day maybe I'm just going to be a full-on producer and then have somebody else be the face of things. But when people want you at the forefront, they want you at the forefront.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, I'd rather just be the voice.
Yeah.
I like conversation. I like talking to people. I don't like being, you got to do this. You got to do it my way. I'm the only one. Pay me $9.99.99 and I'll tell you how to become rich. That's not how shit works.
They're sure not. Akil, I want to thank you so much.
In order for you to become rich, somebody got to become poor. So who's going to be, a billionaire or another poor person?
I don't know, but I'm going to be a millionaire one day.
Don't say that. Then you'd be broke.
Wait, what?
The brokest person on earth is the millionaire. You didn't know that?
No.
Because most of their wealth lies in assets. They don't have cash. And so they have to buy and they spend and they buy and they spend and then they leverage and then they convert and then they're check to check. When the government says, "Oh, you're rich," really? Just because somebody owns 6 or 7 properties and got like luxury condos or whatever, that doesn't mean they're rich. It means that they've got a lot of money out the door, and that over a 20-year span, they'll accumulate that wealth again. But right now, they're like, man, I gotta pay the bills. Like developers feel it all the time, industry professionals, and that's why a lot of people live off of debt That's why I told you. It's like, it looks like they got money, but the truth is they're hustling just like everybody else, you know? And they
Yeah.
are oftentimes they're just cash strapped. People are like, but you got a nice truck. I'm like, yeah, they can afford to pay the truck because they make enough to cover it. But it doesn't mean that they've got a mountain of cash sitting in the background. Nobody lets their money just do that. If you're smart, you put your money back out to work. And then if you can live modestly, and that's why I said I respect. Remember, we used to make fun of the crypto kid that'd be like living on a mattress, eating beans and rice and ramen noodles. I'm like, that's a smart guy right there. They ain't trying to lose none of their money.
True. Very true. That's how a lot of crypto people live. I think so, but except some. But Akil, I want to thank you so much for coming and joining me on today. We need to do another show to talk about specifically politics, because I know that you have a lot to say about politics, and we really didn't touch much on politics tonight. But, we've had...
We can talk about politics, but you know what's going to happen if we talk about politics.
What, they're going to ban us? They're going to cut my Wi-Fi?
They might.
Or
they
talk
own...
about your favorite person, Elon?
I don't hate Elon. I just...
I'm just kidding.
Schmuck. Stop being a schmuck, man. Like, the SpaceX IPO is in existence so he can pay off creditors that he owes for Twitter. That's it. It's not a big secret. SpaceX operates at a loss. It is literally funded by only the government at this point. It's not going to have a product for 10 years. So if you can afford to wait that long, sure, go ahead. But I think a better investment would be Bitcoin or dirt.
Invest in a Tesla, okay? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know how you feel. I'm sorry. I love you, Akil. I take it back. I take it back.
This interview is over.
It's over.
You got a shiny head. It's over. No, not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. It's over.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this was Big Unc Akil Patterson. Don't ever, ever tell him get a Tesla. If you're not following him on all his socials, what the fudge are you doing? If you don't know who Akil Patterson is, just Google him. Google Akil, A-K-I-L, Patterson, and then you will see who he truly is. Google him. I mean, or you can Wikipedia him. Also, we didn't even...
You know what they should do? You should look up White House shooting and then my name.
Why? Yes. And then
look up White House shooting in my name.
We didn't even get to touch about your city council or any of that or any of all that stuff.
No. Because well, I love Baltimore. It's a great city.
That's That's an episode for another show where we are going to talk politics, because we're going to talk about all this stuff, and we're going to talk about your reaction when I said to buy a Tesla. See,
this interview's
there
over.
We go. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. Stay tuned, because Akil and I will be back this exact reason. Good night. And on that note, stay unscripted. Right, Akil? Buenas noches.